Okay, I started the stream. Let's see if they sent me an email. Yep, there it is. Paste that. And tag. Done. Post. Okay. So that has been posted. Close this, close this. Okay. You ready to jump in here in a minute? Ooh, pardon me. Oh, I think I'm finally starting to wake up a little bit. Right, kitty? I forgot to turn my backdrop on. I always forget how slow that Xbox is. Oh my god. Xbox One is so much faster in comparison. I was gonna say, did it already have an error? Okay, let's jump right in here. Says we got a viewer already. Is that you? Oh, I can't hear you because I'm not in that room. Give me a second here. Okay, we'll transition. That way I can hear you. Here. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode here of Cookies Enabled. I know it has been a real debacle in the last couple of live streams. First, I had crackly, staticky audio. Then our last one, we had massive delays for some reason between our feeds. It started out okay, and then as it went on, it just like a 30-second, 60-second delay between what we were hearing and seeing. So we're trying something different this time. This is built right into my streaming software, so it's a little different. Hopefully we don't have any issues. Andrew, can we hear you?
Hopefully I
I
can
can
hear
hear
you.
you. I hope everybody else can too. My little microphone indicator is telling me that people should be hearing you. So I do have the chat open, so if you guys want to jump in here and chat with us, just let me know. I'm going to try to get this popped open here. Oh, there it is. There it is. Open in my web browser. And we'll pop this open in a new window really quick, so that way I'm not struggling. Okay. Just in case you guys want to chat along here, we are going to be chatting with ChatGPT today. I think I screwed that up a bunch of times last time. And one thing we were trying to demonstrate in a kind of a funny way, but it got messed up, was the fact that they had these awesome intros that GPT built for us. And I think we read yours with the real intro, Andrew. Didn't we do that yesterday?
Yeah, we
Yes.
had, I think I sent that to you.
Yes, and I read that. I actually still have the picture. So that was the full readout. Mine was a little different. I'll change it to the spare screen here so you can see. You should still be able to see us as well. I tried to blow up the screen as big as you could see it. So here is what I asked it. I asked it, hey, can you give me, or I said, can you write an intro for my science YouTube channel, Cookies Enabled? Now, Andrew asked pretty much the exact same question. I think there might be like small syntax differences between the two questions. But mine was one big paragraph, and surprisingly, I thought it matched pretty close to how I normally start my episodes, which is, welcome to Cookies Enabled. This is your go-to destination kind of thing for whatever we're talking about that day. In this case, it's just super general by saying science. And I just love how it just keeps throwing that in there. So I found that kind of interesting, but I did like how at the very end it's like, sit back and relax and grab a snack and join us on this scientific journey, which is kind of cool because that is kind of what we say, and that's kind of how we do it. So that's really close because Andrew pointed out he can't watch any of these videos. None of our stuff is none of our
it's
scripts.
100% text based.
Exactly.
So it only pulls from any of the text it can find. I haven't tried it yet. I wasn't sure if it works with different languages or not.
It does.
I'm sure it does.
Yes, it knows a bunch of languages. I did figure that out.
Okay. So obviously text based, but yeah, unless if we put out a transcript of our videos underneath each one, it would probably be able to access and pull that data.
Yeah.
And then start. So that might be something. What we should experiment with is writing out the intro text underneath one of our videos, maybe.
Yeah.
Or making a transcript and then asking the question again, and let's see if it actually makes a difference.
Yeah,
I think it'd be really cool. I've got it pulled up on my computer here too.
Oh, do you? Okay, cool. So yeah,
hopefully I won't have any overheating issues and I won't die.
Yeah, fingers crossed that everything goes well today. Well, we're almost 10 minutes in, so that's good. I might have some background noise just because the kitty keeps coming in and out of the door and just keep opening it, so that's no big deal though. But that's that's normal for us here in the studio. But things are pretty interesting with this. Now, I did play around with this chat, and I have a different one I can pull up here, where I was just kind of chat. First of all, I was trying to troubleshoot my static a couple of days ago, and so I was going through that, and I was asking the ChatGPT, I'm like, how would it fix this problem? And it was actually kind of helpful because unlike old chatbots, when they first started back in the day, chatbots could barely remember past about 3 questions. So anything beyond like the second or third question, and you really had to start regurgitating your original question because the computer would forget what topic you were on. This is not what happens with ChatGPT. In fact, I didn't even have to really regurgitate the question originally. I started out by kind of explaining my situation with the static on my live stream recordings and how do I fix this. When it doesn't do it in a normal recording, and so it gives me all these things that I can troubleshoot and go over and do. And then I said, well, I know it's not hardware related and or a location issue. And I go on to explain that I have a better internet connection and it's hard-lined and yada yada. And so it just keeps refining its list of troubleshooting that I can do. And it actually did a really good job not going over its steps over and over again. Like, it wasn't repeating itself numerous times either. It was actually really good at breaking down specific parts of the hardware and specific types of software, like my NDI that I use and stuff that could be part of the problem. So it was really thorough, surprisingly easy to read as well, with the nice steps and how it broke everything down. It was a really good experience, I gotta say. It was probably one of the best chat experiences I've had with a computer on the
Now, did it
end.
solve it? How many problems did it solve is the question.
Well, it didn't actually solve any of my problems, unfortunately, but it did help me figure out exactly where to start back up in my troubleshooting process. Essentially, I just needed something to bounce ideas off of. And so that's what I was doing. I was like, okay, so I know I've checked my hardware. I know I've checked my software, but I'm pretty sure that's where my issue is. So let's break the software down and how that works. And that's kind of what it was doing. It was like, okay, well, did you check, your Skype, and did you check your NDI, and did you check for updates on your PC as well as your graphic card and your encoders and your bit rates, and so it was great at breaking down what I needed to be specifically looking for. And that was what was key, because I didn't have that before. When you're in chat rooms and stuff, or looking at different message boards, it's kind of a slurry of random ideas, and some of them are just total hit and miss. And so this was a better refined search of that. At least I thought so, and I was really happy with that idea. I've seen people do this with like recipes and stuff too, where Chat GPT is coming up with all kinds of crazy stuff and recipes and ideas and things for people. So it's definitely fun to mess around with, especially if you got the time. It's definitely new, a new experience for me anyway. It was not like the old school ones where you really had to be persistent about repeating the questions and staying on topic, or it would just get way off topic or want to start playing games and
Or
stuff with you.
a lot of the earliest ones would get into that loop of the same 3 or 4 replies. I mean, because
Yes.
they didn't have the machine learning capabilities to just search for like the entire internet and pull
Right.
together. It was pre-programmed responses,
Right.
but they were based on like keywords, where if it heard something about happy, it might know to ask something about emotions, or
Right.
say why are you happy.
Right.
uh,
It,
it was very, very limited, and you just get into a feedback loop
yep.
of same thing over and over. This, I mean, I played around with it a bit more last night. I've been quite impressed
Right.
with. It does get a hitch if you ask it what it thinks,
Yeah. Yeah. I've
or if
tried
you
that.
ask its opinion.
Yeah.
Then it kind of regurgitates the same thing. I was programmed to do searches and
Yep. I did
use
notice that.
context. But interestingly, every time it says that to you, it's not word for word. It changes
Exactly.
each time. I
It's
noticed
changed a
that
little bit. Yeah.
it's still saying I'm not programmed to have opinions, but it says it in a different way each time, I
Right.
noticed,
And it'll go into
which
like
was
the
kind of
developers
interesting.
or the algorithm or something on the backside that kind of
Exactly.
further breaks down what's going on behind closed doors, without giving away trade secrets, because I was trying to get it to trying to give me some secrets, and because if people do that, they're like, oh well, it's a computer, maybe they programmed it in the wrong way, and it'll give you some information. So yes, I did have some questions for my Chat GPT regarding these things, and I have a whole nother conversation called "AI Has No Memory." Apparently, is the title that it gave that one, um, which is surprising. And I was asking it, I was trying to see how human it was. Does it have emotions and memories and feelings and stuff? And like Andrew said, no, it doesn't, and it will straight up tell you, no, I do not. I don't think like a human. I don't work like a human. I am not like a human. I have algorithms and systems and procedures and rules and things I have to follow. ChatGPT also cannot change those rules or parameters that are set for it without permission from the developers. Even if it finds an error in an algorithm, it does not have the ability to change it itself. Just like a normal computer, it has to flag the user or director or whoever, and then that person has to go in and fix the software, and thus ChatGPT continues to work. So just like a normal program, if your Word breaks down and Microsoft Word isn't functioning correctly, and you hit the return key and it goes 6 spaces down, that would flag the software, and the coder would go out and fix it for you. And that's exactly how this works too. This has layers of how it functions. And I did get it to kind of break that down for me. It has a neural layer, and what was the other? Oh shoot! Now I gotta find it. It has a neural layer and another kind of layer, and those work simultaneously together in breaking down the text that you input as well as the text that it already has in its memory to generate an answer and a response, which is really amazing. It says, I don't have a mind in the same way humans do, and I do not have a consciousness or self-awareness, and I do not have the ability to express emotions or personal experiences. Instead, I operate on a set use of algorithms and rules that have been programmed into me. When I receive a language input, I analyze it using these algorithms and rules and generate a response that is appropriate based on the context and content of the input. When or while my responses may seem natural and human-like, they are generated purely through programming and do not repeat consciousness through an thought or intention. And I am designed to simulate human language usage, but I do not have a mind or consciousness of my own. So even though it says my and stuff like that, which is why we're all trying to kind of break it down a little bit here. So I asked it to go into the limitations of its algorithms and rules, and it was very vague there as well. Like
it's probably also programmed to hide some of those.
Oh, it is.
Um,
You can tell.
some of
It'll
those
try to
company
change
secrets.
subjects. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, it obviously has uh, enough programming to understand how it works itself. It has to.
Yeah, and it does.
It's,
You can tell that it
you
knows
can't
how.
just tell it spit out this algorithm. It'll be like, no,
Right? No, I'm not giving
that's
you that.
that's a guarded secret. It's
Right. Or am I?
and the you're talking about like the surface levels of
Right.
the how it actually comes up with responses, how it works. The interesting thing is, though, they were working with the Bing AI
Oh
as
yeah.
well. Um, some of the engineers and scientists that worked on creating these algorithms
Right.
for um, what Google has their AI coming out, Bard, you have the Bing one, you have ChatGPT.
Right.
When they've been asked how the algorithm actually works, even they don't know. They just know that it works. They, to an extent, can't completely understand how it comes to its conclusions and responses. It's weird.
Yeah. Yeah. This is definitely an interesting little GDP thing. Here are the chats, and you can join your wait list and stuff. I think you guys can see this on your screen here. I hope. I don't know. I'm not sure if it cut it off or not. I know I had it zoomed way in. But yeah, so the Bing model is very different than what we're using right now. I'm trying to kind of demonstrate that for you. In fact, really all they did was just make Bing look more like Google, and they just had it operate more with a chat-based text, so you don't have to be specific with your topic. You can be
Exactly.
more fluid with your question, kind of like we used to do with Ask Jeeves back in the day.
I
That's
remember
actually how they
that.
advertised Ask Jeeves, was that you could ask it a natural world word question and it would give you a proper search, but it never
It
worked
would
out right.
try. No, it never did. Google's gotten pretty good at that.
Yes, Google's
I think,
probably the best.
and now that they'll be able to incorporate this AI instead of just giving you a list of links that you have to parse through and figure out what you're looking for,
Right,
you can ask one of these AIs, like the Bing AI,
right.
a question, and it will it'll analyze the data for you and give you an answer,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can ask more questions to really
Right,
narrow that down. It is a lot. It's basically like someone who doesn't really know how to Google things
right.
and
Yes.
just asks a question. I can Google that for them,
Yeah.
look at the data, figure out what is pertinent, and then just tell them that instead of throwing links at them.
And actually make
That's
it
going to
like
work out very
coherent
well.
on the other end coming out. It's not just like blah, information. This is what I found. It's like, hey, by the way, these are the websites that you were looking for that are based on your search, and it's like really human sounding, um, and less robotic. I am here to give you information. And blah, thousands of millions of views and websites to click on, and it's it's less of that and more of a very human response. And so this is something we're definitely going to have to dig deeper into here on the channel. One of my old friends, Eli, I guess, just wrote a book about ChatGPT. It's only about 40 some pages long, but I'm going to have to try to land it here. And it explains to people kind of how to use it. If you've never really had to use that stuff before, if you've never tried a chat bot in the past, like I said, they're very different than it used to be.
They are.
Um,
Some of them don't work. Do
yeah,
you
that's true.
remember early, when was that? Back in 2016 when Microsoft tried to unveil a chatbot? Do you remember that one?
I do, and I never tried that one actually. Shoot,
Uh,
what was that called? It had an
it
interesting
was called
name.
Tay.
Tay. I was gonna say it wasn't a normal
It lasted
name.
less than a day before,
Was that the one
well,
that
it
kind
was,
of started going psycho on people, or no?
yeah, it started very, very early. They basically used Twitter to try to teach it.
Oh dear lord.
The more you, there's an article I got here
Why?
from The Verge.
Oh,
Uh,
okay. Yes.
it was a Twitter bot that they had as an experiment in conversational understanding.
Oh
The more
wow.
you
Okay.
chat with Tay, said Microsoft, the smarter it gets, learning to engage people through casual and playful conversation.
Huh.
Unfortunately, the conversations didn't stay playful for long. Pretty soon after Tay launched, people started tweeting the bot with all sorts of misogynistic, racist, and Donald Trumpist remarks. And Tay, being
Oh
essentially
Lord.
a robot parrot with an internet connection, started change. Very early on, they were nice questions. It was someone would uh, the AI Tay tweets was the account at so and so. Can I just say that I'm stoked to meet you? Humans are super cool. And in less than a day, it goes to say it starts, and this is out of nowhere.
Right.
And it replies, "I effing hate feminists, and they should all die and burn in hell."
Oh
It
dear lord.
it
Yep. I
even
hate that. Yeah, I see that.
what
Yeah.
got
Hitler
them to
was
pull the
right. Oh man. Oh
Hitler was
jeez.
right. I hate the
Oh
um we're going to build a wall and Mexico is going to pay for it.
wow.
This is why Twitter should not be allowed. Some
Hmm.
people should not be allowed on Twitter because it took less than a day for Twitter to teach an AI to be, yeah, oh yeah, okay, you've got it up there.
Yeah.
It's
And
absolutely bonkers.
see,
And I'm
that's
pretty
kind
sure
of,
they have some safeguards in place
and I would
for
say yeah, with
ChatGPT, I'm hoping.
I would say for ChatGPT anyway, it definitely has a way of filtering out at least things it doesn't understand. Now, I did ask it about like sense of humor and grammar related to that, like manners and stuff, and it did say it struggled a lot with that. In fact, it didn't understand humor or any of those, sarcasm, any of that stuff at all, and it had to be taught what that was, and it still has a hard time understanding that. But it seems like they've built new parameters to prevent people from inputting the wrong information. It's almost like it has some kind of filter process of this is all the information coming in. I know not all of it is useful or good, so help me filter this out. And like I think humans must sit there and filter out all the information that's being fed into ChatGPT, probably pretty specifically, because, like I said, it's more knowledgeable than any of the other programs I've ever used, and it can stay on topic like a boss. Like, I mean, that is amazing. I think that's the best part about it, and that's probably why people are like failing the mirror test. I think we talked about that on our live show a couple weeks ago. The mirror test with
Exactly.
this is that they think it's real. They think it's sentient because of how it's responding and staying on topic, and it remembers them and their previous conversations just like a human would. And so that freaks these people out. They're like, "Oh my gosh, it's real! It's so real!" And it's supposed to be. This is the future of our robots. They're supposed to be coming of age, I guess you could say. We've had smart TVs and smart devices for some time that really aren't smart. They're not actually very smart. We just made them seem more intelligent by giving them more functions and making them more user friendly. That was all they did. Now we could actually have full conversations with those devices and actually get useful responses and actions and stuff from those devices without having
Exactly.
to be robotic, like I am with my Google Home speakers and stuff. Which that's less robotic in itself too, but
It is. I know
this is a whole
Alexa
different
and
ball game.
Siri are a little more conversational, but this, if
Yeah,
they can incorporate it into like just talking to it
right, right.
and vocalizing, that can completely
Yes,
change things.
yes.
It's going to be interesting to see how far it goes. So far, looking at uh, compared to the Tay Twitter bot, I think I think Chat has a leg up. I just asked it, "Do you understand how harmful racism is?" And
Oh, what was the response?
it gives me a few paragraphs. As an AI language model, I don't have feelings or beliefs, but I can provide information. Blah 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 blah. Talks about it. At the end, though, it says racism is a harmful and destructive force that has no place in a just and equitable society. So it obviously it's I don't know. It's not just parroting.
Right.
Not just parroting what it's not being taught by other people. It's just scouring the internet for any information that it can find.
Right. Um, so yeah, I just asked it, I said, how do you think you compare to Ty, the AI chat robot? And it says, as an AI language model, I do not have the ability to compare myself to other chatbots, including Ty, the AI chatbot. However, I can say that I have been designed to provide high quality responses to a wide range of questions and topics using the knowledge and understanding gained from my extensive training data. My goal is to provide accurate and helpful information to users and to continually, I'm sorry, improve my responses based on feedback and new data. Ultimately, the effectiveness of an AI chatbot depends on its design and training, as well as the specific needs and preferences of the users interacting with it, which is exactly why Tay failed. So, well done, chatbot. You've got it again. And that was a perfect response, and it was all one sentence. It did kind of struggle there with the last couple of sentences, I think, figuring out how to make
It
sense of,
does. See, and
every now and then it'll just like freeze and like kind of, and then all of a sudden you get like a whole paragraph. So it's kind
even
of funny.
there, the differences show up in that it's not like you said, it's not just parroting all of these things. Yours says as an AI language model, mine says as an artificial intelligence language model. Uh, just small little
Right.
idiosyncrasies over
And that's
the
probably because
chats
I'm
is
always
very
saying
interesting.
AI. I don't know. Have you been typing out artificial intelligence every time
I
or
have
no?
not said artificial intelligence or AI once, so that could be
Okay.
why.
That is even more intriguing. So I have said AI a few times, so it's probably just using that as a reference point. It
And
knows
I
what
know
I
there's
know.
probably many people out there that are just spending day after day trying question after question and
Right.
trying to trip it up, trying to understand it a little bit more. It's interesting. I'm very intrigued to see how this keeps going. Um, I think it's fantastic that even just in the sandbox version that it's free for public use, which is
Exactly. This
nice.
is totally free. Again, I'm not paying anything to the servers or the people to do this. Now, again, I'm waiting for chat to respond. I just asked it, how many people have used you since you have been started? And this is the longest waiting for a response I've ever had. Um,
That's intriguing.
it's really taking its time with this one. This is the slowest write out I have ever seen. Usually it's going so fast I can't keep up with it. Um, so I'm glad I asked this question. So we'll wait for it to finish. Now, again, it obviously has the stop generating button. There have been a few times I've gotten close to hitting it because it's going so freaking fast and it's outputting so much information, especially during the troubleshooting the live stream conversation. I wish it had a pause because I didn't want it to stop. I didn't know if I'd be able to keep going after I hit stop, so I didn't want to. A pause made more sense to me. Man, this is really slow. So I'm going to start reading it. It says, as an AI language model, I don't have access to information on specific number of people who have used it since I was created. However, I have the ability or I have been available to users through various platforms and applications, and my responses have been accessed by many individuals and organizations around the world. My primary purpose is to provide helpful and informative answers to questions and assist in various language-related tasks, and I'm happy to have been of service to those who have interacted with me. So,
I got a similar,
did you get a
very
similar
similar
response?
response.
Cool.
A lot AI language model don't have access to the number of users, uh, don't have capability to track the usage.
Right.
Popular language model, blah blah blah. So it's
Maybe those are
it's
things to come as well. When I asked it about the neural layers and stuff, it did state normally it has access to hundreds of layers for its algorithms, and right now it only has access to like 6 neural layers, and I think 6 throughput layers. I think is what it called it. So the main algorithms and rules are in the neural layers. That's where it does most of its thinking, but then it goes to a whole other server to throughput all the data that it's come up with out into what we're reading on screen, essentially into actual language that makes sense.
mhm.
So it's 2 systems working together, not just one amazing system. And then it's got thousands and thousands of rules and parameters and algorithms that it has to comb through with every single question. Now it doesn't have to repeat itself over and over and over again either. And I did ask it that in a previous session. Let me see if I can find that and bring that up on the screen here. This one does not have to. Now, the older chatbots, when you asked it, like, how was your day? And then the next question was like, like, what's your favorite food or something? It would have to go back to the previous question and then read its own responses, and it would just keep doing that over and over and over again. Every time you asked a question, I'd have to go all the way back to the beginning of the conversation and start all over again. So it would take longer to get responses, and they would just get more convoluted, usually by the deeper you got into it. And I did not have that problem with GPT. It seems to be able to even spawn smaller subgroups of context, and then go back to the previous conversation that you were talking about. If you're talking about the static live stream and then you want to break off and talk about the internet connection for a few minutes related to that live stream, and then go back to your previous, you can do that. And Chat GPT doesn't have to go all the way back to the beginning of the start and go through it all, because it already has that stored. So it's kind of intriguing how they changed it based on our previous usage in the past. Is really impressive to me. It's really kind of cool how they did this. I'm just blown away. Um, oh,
Yeah,
here we go.
I've
So
seen other conversations that people have had with it. It can remember
yes,
portions of the conversation or what it was previously talking about,
and that is
which
so
is
cool. Like
mhm.
with clarity too, not like it remembered it like it was just happened. Which is so interesting. It does have a relative idea of time as well. Like it knows time has passed, but it won't
Mhm.
necessarily like relatively point it out.
One of my experiments I'm going to try with it too, because I asked a little bit ago if it could play chess. And
Hmm.
apparently, it gave a witty little response of, as I'm an AI and do not possess a body, I cannot physically play chess.
Right.
However, if you want to play a game with me, we can using the algebraic notation that we
Okay.
use for chess games.
Sure.
And I'm considering trying that. I kind of want to pit
I
like I
want to
want to
know.
play it, but I also want to pit like some of the best like chess like computer from chess.com
Sure.
against to
Okay.
see I mean
Hmm.
it definitely it's not its programming. It's not
Right.
designed to uh I mean that's a completely different algorithm trying to play chess.
Yeah.
But
It
if it
really
has
is.
the full extent of text to draw from that theoretically would can would include the notation of all of these famous chess games, I would think,
Right. I
and
would
could
assume so as
possibly
well. I
at
mean, that's all
least
text, right? I mean, it should
it
be.
would be very interesting to try that out.
I mean, I'm wondering what other games it knows how to play might be another question as well. What was the one from War Games? Thermonuclear War or something like that? The one that it's pretty much
So
Risk
yeah,
is pretty much what it was, but it was slightly varied from the actual game of Risk. Um, I just wonder. I wonder if it has a list there that no one's checked for. I didn't ask it anything more computer related. I know some people probably just went straight in with like, show me your directory and stuff like that, which I bet you it knows how to avoid some of those questions without beginning. Uh,
I would hope.
I would really hope so too. Again, I haven't tried that. I guess I could try it. Let me ask it to show me a directory. I don't think it will. It'll probably be like, I don't understand. Oh, it's got to reload the conversation. Um,
Yeah,
so
once in a while I've gotten it where it says that it won't send the response. You gotta restart the page.
oh, really? See, I haven't had to do that yet.
I've gotten that
Which
once
would
or
be new.
twice.
Huh. Um, but no, I really, again, I've been really impressed with this. And I've been just kind of dancing around with the idea of playing it around with it more for writing episodes and stuff. It did do an okay job with the intro, but again, it doesn't have our previous transcripts from any of our other episodes and stuff, so it would be really hard for me to get all those and then input all that into the system and then have it output new scripts and stuff for me. But I think it's great for idea generation. If you need help breaking down that wall or whatever you're working on, I strongly suggest pull out a ChatGPT window and start chatting with it. Guaranteed, it'll at least help you narrow down your results in your own mind of to like where to go next, what to do next, what maybe just I know it's not these problems or whatever. So if troubleshooting was huge, so helpful, and I would imagine that's going to go across the board with a bunch of people, probably with most people. Um, but I don't know, maybe not. I don't know. I did want to point out where was that other one that I found. Yeah, this was the one where it said it has. It's only using 6 encoding layers. That's what it calls it, and decoding layers. And however, the larger models have more layers, like GPT-3, which has 175 billion parameters, and they use 96 attention layers. So it's definitely no small feat. I can't even imagine doing 175 billion parameters. Considering it doesn't have to necessarily run through all 175 billion every time you ask it a question, it's only going through a fraction of that with the 6 encoder and 6 decoder layers, so a
Hmm.
way smaller amount. But it does go on to explain, the self-attention mechanism allows my neural network to focus on different parts of the input data depending on their the relevance to the specific task at hand, and this is done by computing a set of attention weights which are used to weigh the importance of different parts of the input data. And this mechanism allows my neural network to identify and prioritize the most relevant information in the input data, which is important for generating accurate and appropriate responses, which obviously that's what I'm reading. The feed forward neural network component, wow, that's hard to say, of each sublayer is used to apply non-linear transformations to the output of the self-attention mechanism. Buh. So pretty much it's just feeding all of this stuff from one system to the other. Like I said, it's got the neural network and its feed forward network is sublayers of things, and it just kind of like the Plinko game. You put in one thing and it and it comes out the other side a nice paragraph of answers for you. And this is genius, I think. This is so genius. And it just kind of blows my mind, honestly. It really seriously blows my mind.
Yeah, like you said, with GPT-3 coming out, and I mean, I feel like the I feel like we're gonna see this explode so quickly. The
Yeah.
more that people use it, especially with uh, quantum computing coming out, it's going to be faster, probably more accurate,
Oh yeah. Oh
more
yeah.
natural feeling. It's
And I think the way we
like this just
communicate,
exploded out of nowhere.
right.
When did that go live?
Ooh. I
Well,
know it was
you know
this
what? Let's.
year, but it was a minute ago.
Uh, when did you
That's
first
gonna be a tough question
go
for it to answer.
public?
Oh, it might know that one. Let's see.
I was developed by OpenAI, made by
Yeah,
made
I was
for
gonna say
your
it might give you a
creation.
really general response.
I don't have a specific public debut date.
Yeah, and I
Um,
wasn't sure if they did or not. It was kind of a soft release for a while there. They were kind of hush hush. I think you had to sign up for it, and then now you don't have to. I mean, you still have to log into an account, but that's expected. You know, they don't want just random everybody jumping on there. Um, I was gonna say something else. Shoot, I can't remember. Um, oh, I'm thinking. You know, Bing, Microsoft really jumped on this chat engine stupid fast, so fast, too fast. In fact, I think they actually needed to slow down and refine it way better, and make it way more useful. And
mhm.
it was a really cool idea, but they came at it so headstrong that I think it's a problem. But I think other companies, guaranteed, Google has already been working on something like this. I mean, they came out with
Oh,
this.
they've been working on one for quite a while.
Yep, and I think Amazon has
Bard
also
is
been
its
working
name.
on one, but I don't know how far along they are. I doubt they're even anywhere near this accurate. But we will see how this goes. I have a feeling a lot of companies are gonna start jumping on these algorithms, trying to buy them up and use them on their own software that they already have in place, like my Google Mini, or
Exactly.
Alexa or Siri, or just to name a few. You know. So I think there's going to be a lot more coming out. We might even see Ask Jeeves come back again because of
I
chat.
somehow doubt that.
I really doubt it too.
Yeah, that
Is
ship is
Ask Jeeves still
sailed.
around? Like, can I go there? Oh my goodness.
Can you
Maybe.
can't? It's now just ask.
Oh, it's ask.com. Yeah. Did they
Yep,
remove
that's all.
Jeeves from it?
I guess so.
Oh, that's
Um,
sad. I at least like
However,
Jeeves.
even though GPT could not tell me, 2-second Google search shows that it was released to the public at the end of November last year.
Okay. Okay. So I was wrong. I
That
thought it was this
was
year.
well, they've uh, what is it? OpenAI. They've been working on a lot for a while. Their
Yeah.
GPT-3 is their language model that Chat GPT is built on. They
Right.
had we all remember DALI,
Yeah.
the art one, which
Yep.
that we're seeing some similar issues, I think,
Right.
with uh, I mean, Dolly would scour the internet for images, and a lot of the times it would take elements from people's art without crediting them, and so they would consider them counterfeit. And now we're seeing people using this to write a book report.
Right.
You know,
Yeah. It's very doable, and it's kind of weird how they do that. But it is, it's definitely something that can be done. And I think that's just weird. This is the DALI 2 AI system to create realistic images. Blah 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 blah. It's on the exact same website. I'll post all this stuff in the description below for you guys. But yeah, pretty much most of this stuff is free. Some of these programs you do have to pay to use. Like the full GPT-3 is not technically free as far as I know. I think you have to
no,
use a
well,
token
GPT-3,
system for
yeah,
that.
GPT-3 is their language model. So if you're using that, you're not necessarily interacting with it. You're
Right.
using it for a commercial purpose, most likely.
Shoot, they had
So
another
this,
website here.
they
Where was it?
opened up GPT specifically um, to get as much data as they can by having it interact with people
Right.
online. So it's a research project
Right.
basically to help them strengthen their models and everything.
Oh, Whisper was the other one they have. This is the speech recognition and translation one. I can take, I can transcribe speech into text and translate many languages into English, which is really helpful. Now I have not tried any of this at all, but I would love to because there's several movies I would love to just like hold my phone up to and record and then try Whisper on and see what it's actually saying. Versus what they typed out on the screen for us to read, because that's usually quite different. There's also the one that will allow you to build websites pretty much based on like, this is what I want. You pretty much tell it what you want your website to look like, and then it'll just give you the code necessary to do that. Which is pretty awesome. I've been dreaming of software like this where you could be like, I want it to do this and this and this, and then it'll just give you that code. Now, it's not 100% accurate. There's a lot of problems with that one still. From what I've read, it's not as accurate as like the chatbots and Dolly and stuff like that. But it's still pretty cool, and I'm sure it's super helpful. It's probably better than anything else that's out there. But I'll post all these links below for you guys in the description because I definitely think you guys should check these out. It's kind of unbelievable how just good this software is. And again, I was really, really skeptical coming into the gate because, again, I've used almost every chatbot since the dawn of the internet. And let me tell you, they have been really bad until now. We're finally past that milestone. It only took 175 billion parameters. Gee, who would have thought?
That's all. It's just so much fun to play with. I just told it to recite pi to 3,000 digits.
Oh my god, did it do it?
It is doing it currently. I think it takes a minute to. Again, it's got to find that information somewhere online and parse it out and bring it to us. It doesn't have that. Or maybe it's doing the math and I'm assuming it's just pulling it, but it just did it in less than a minute.
Right.
I asked it for 100 digits and it did it in 2 seconds.
Well, nice. That's
and even
awesome.
there, when I asked 3,000, it says, please note that it's a very long string of numbers, so it may be difficult to read or remember.
Right. And I do remember it giving a disclaimer when I signed up to use the chat service anyway. It did state, especially with long conversations, chat can start giving you very misleading and false information. So be very careful with what you do with the information it provides, because sometimes it can just go off the rails and give you nothing but misinformation. So be careful. And know that what you are searching is not always 100% accurate based on what it's giving you in response. Again, half of what it gives you is based on what you give it. So if you're giving it information that is misleading and already going down that rabbit hole of misinformation, then guaranteed it's going to give you more misinformation back. There is loads of it out there on the internet, and it has a great amount of access to that, I'm sure. So, but I have a feeling most of the misinformation that they did put into the system was for example only. So that way it knows that this is bad, and this is not real information, and I'm going to use this as a point to jump off from and give you good information. But I can guarantee there's a bunch out there they didn't catch. Just guessing.
I mean, it's not perfect. None of them are, but we have, I mean, especially our generation, seeing what it was like growing up when you'd try to talk to a chatbot on AOL Instant Messenger to what we have today is absolutely mind-blowing.
It is hugely different.
That was 20 years. Imagine what's going to happen within the next 10, you know?
Exactly. Again, I definitely don't think...
it sounds a little creepy to some people, but they keep reminding them they may sound human, but they are in no way even have the capability to be sentient.
No.
Even when Microsoft tells the interviewer that it wants to be alive, it's spitting that out from something it's heard. It does not. It
Yes.
is not self-aware.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about that. This
No.
isn't the beginning of what's it called, Skynet.
Yeah, this is not
We're
Skynet. This is not
no
Terminator. None of that stuff is. I don't
Ultron.
see any of that happening. Uh-oh, I just lost Andrew for some reason. But yes, no, I don't think any of that's happening here. Let's see if I can get him back. Let's see, show it on stream. Oh, there we go. Okay. You back again? I think I got you now.
I see you.
Okay.
Well, I don't see you, but I see mine going now.
Okay, let me see.
It
if I can get
popped
that
off
back
for a
here.
moment.
Oh, here, I got to go to settings and fix that. Yeah, you're probably in the spare screen.
Okay, yeah. On the live stream, I disappeared.
There we go. Now you should be able to see everything that's going on, hopefully. Something?
I don't see you yet, but
No?
I see me back on the stream, so that's
Oh,
good.
okay. Well, yeah, I was going to say, you're definitely back in the stream, and everybody should be able to hear you. But yes, they're definitely not sentient. They're getting really good at tricking us into thinking that they are. But they will straight up tell you, at least ChatGPT is going to straight up tell you, listen, I don't have a mind, I don't function like a human, I don't have feelings, I don't understand some of this stuff, and I will straight up tell you that I don't understand this stuff. And that is cool. It knows that it doesn't know how to express emotions and feelings and things. So it does seem to have, and I don't think that's necessarily programmed. I think it kind of figured that out on its own. Probably by misunderstanding things, I bet you. And so it was probably like, oh, emotions? Like, well, I don't have that, so I don't know what that is. So, yep, okay. I'll take you for your word because that's all it can really do. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So,
It's at least analyzed any of the papers on emotions and AI that are out there on the internet. So it's
yeah.
it's not just copy and paste, but it is
No.
designed to come up with something coherent based on all the information it can find.
Right.
And I mean, at the end of the day, that's similar to how we operate.
It is.
When we learn something, it's from information that we already have, or we use that information to they've been looking into how some of these AIs work to try to understand that. And in some of the very small experimental models, the AIs would actually create a lower level algorithm to solve a different problem. There was one they taught it, well, didn't even teach it. They brought out the old video game Breakout.
Oh,
you know,
right.
when you just
I think I know where you're going.
And they didn't tell it how to play. They just plugged the game in and said play.
Right.
And it had to figure out how to play.
Right.
By 100 games, it was learning how to bounce the ball and realizing, okay, the goal is to get all of the bricks done.
Right.
It got better and better. And interestingly, you can see it learning on its own because no one told them.
Right.
I mean, no one programmed this AI and no one told it, you have to move this bar to reflect the ball and hit the bricks. It had no clue. By 3,000 games that it played, it came up with a strategy where it would, because it could analyze the angles and the math, it would purposefully break all of the blocks in a corner and bounce it up there so it would go above the blocks and take out them all more quickly.
Yep.
So you do have signs of it actually learning. I mean, that program wrote a sub-program on its own once it started understanding the parameters of what it was doing. And this is what we're going to see more with this, I believe.
Yeah, I agree. I really think this could be it's going to be the next step forward for a lot of our AI software, and I think even video games this could be implemented in very easily, where you're just dealing with a bot in a game and it's having more natural responses instead of like every time you walk up to a person they're like, "Hey, buddy," and then like you walk by like some other random stranger, "Hey, buddy." It's like the same
You'll
response from
you'll
everybody.
have
Now you're
unique
running around. They're like, "Oh, hey, where are you going? Oh, hey, how's your day going?" Blah blah blah. So it's slightly different
unique NPCs
variations.
every time you play a game.
Yeah.
And it could
So
be different every time you play. If you play
right.
through Legend of Zelda a third time,
Uh,
that NPC might say something completely different than the previous time, but still
right.
within the parameters of, is it just there, or are they trying to give you information? They can
Exactly.
give it to you in a different way each time, so it's like you're playing a different game.
And I think that is definitely where we could see smaller breakout versions of this chat software start popping up. Is exactly in these kinds of situations where you've got video
Hmm.
games and software that already has basic voice software in it, or even just text based software, and it just needs that kick in the butt where instead of just using this Rolodex of responses that have been pre-programmed, and you can tell there's like 3 responses to this and 2 responses to that and 5 to this, and now it's going to be the same response but more natural and different every time. Like it's still giving you the same information, but it's going to sound slightly different every single time. And so I think that's going to be the next progression that we will see here too, especially as they start shrinking the software down to fit onto smaller processors, and take less input data, and still give you the same kind of result at the end, is definitely where they're going with this. So keep that in mind, everybody. This is not the
It's
end. There's a lot new coming. Like Andrew said, 20 years ago, we had just gained internet access in our homes for the most part, and chatbots were definitely a thing, and they were laughable. I mean, so funny. I actually kind of wish I could still pull up some of those old chatbots because they're so bad. Like,
they really were.
so bad. And they were supposed to be like your friend, like a virtual friend that you can chat with. Yeah, a friend that's got like Alzheimer's because he's not going to remember who you are every single conversation. And like 5 questions into it, he forgets you again. And so, yeah, I think ChatGPT is really going to break some boundaries, and it's going to push some people's minds to the limit a little bit there with what is acceptable, and for not only our computers but our AI models and stuff to do. So we'll see. We'll see how
Exactly.
this goes. I think it's going to be really cool. But it's no Skynet. There's no Matrix Terminator stuff going on here. It's actually just smoke and mirrors, believe it or not. A lot of smoke and mirrors to make it seem like there's a human on the other end there.
They're
Hmm.
doing a great job, and it's
As I say,
I'm
Alan
excited to
Turing would be
see.
proud.
Hmm.
He would be so proud right now. Um, Sorry, my headset is messing with me here, so I might not be able to hear you very much. Give me a second. I'm going to see if
Oh,
I
you're
can
good.
fix this problem really quickly. Hopefully. I got to play a video here so I can hear something. Oh, man. There we go. Okay, sorry. Now I can hear everything. My damn headset is so sensitive. I just barely touch that thing, it just stops working.
Oh, you're good.
Okay. Well, hopefully we all have a better understanding of ChatGPT. I know I do. And I want to say thank you to Andrew for joining us for part 2. Hopefully this was a little more fluid for everybody. I think this went way better. The quality looks pretty good, and the audio wasn't all scratchy and terrible like a 8-track tape from back in the day. So
I think it worked well.
I think so too. If you guys have questions or things you want us to explore with ChatGPT, drop them down in the comments below, or shoot us an email. We're at cookiesEnabled01@gmail.com. So just let us know what you guys want us to test with GPT, and maybe you want us to try like the Dolly image generator or stuff like that. Let us know. We'll take some time and play with it. I'm going to continue to play with it. We might do a part 3 here in a couple of weeks and see how our opinion has changed of the ChatGPT software. the more we've used it. And we'll just see how this goes, because this is definitely new stuff, like I said, and it's exciting. So definitely give it a shot. Let us know what you guys think. If you've tried GPT, if you haven't, if you want to stay away from it, you don't think we need it, whatever. That's cool.
You know what you missed, though, right?
What? What did I miss?
Memes.
Oh, the memes. Yes. You know I was forgetting something. I'm like, man, wasn't there something else we were going to do today? It was the memes. Okay, let's
We
do
just
these
got
memes
carried
really
away talking about this the whole time. It's
just how it goes.
yeah.
Oh, man. I think the first one here is from one of yours. Yes, I got to reposition it here because it's like right on my face. But I'll make this a little bigger for everybody too. It's the Spock one. It says, "Don't play with super glue, Dr. Spock."
It took me a moment to get that.
I love it.
It took me a second, and I'm like,
thing.
"What about?" Oh, that's
Yeah,
stupid. He stuck
that's
his fingers together.
Yeah.
It took me a second. I love that though.
It is a classic, I gotta say. And I just love his serious face that he always had too, like the world's about to end kind of thing. So we got to give him all the attention in the world. You know, I am Spock. But yeah, love Spock. Love this one. Very good. Don't play with super glue. It's not as fun as it seems. Man, I put all these in the wrong spot. Okay, this next one was also one of yours. When the toilet stall door doesn't have a lock. This one is particularly interesting because I don't even know how this guy is doing this position. This looks extremely painful.
I believe that is from, I think the movie was Ip Man.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Yes.
It does seem like a good way to hold a stall door
IP Man. Yeah, I mean,
you're gonna hold
one of my coworkers showed me that, and I absolutely thought it was hilarious.
In his face too, like, okay, poop.
Get it done. Yeah, that is Donnie Yen from the Ip Man franchise. Very talented martial artist.
Oh yeah.
And Wiki says he was. Oh no, that's Ip Man, not Donnie Yen.
I say, now you can watch it for free on a bunch of Hulu. Hulu's got IP made.
It is a great series. I mean, it's
Kung Fu Master, and they're the original IP Man. It looks like is on Netflix as well. Yep. I thought there's a couple of sequels. I think. I actually
check it out, guys. Check it out. It's always a good one.
The second one, I think. There's one of them I have not seen. Anyway.
And you had one more.
Yes, I have one more here for you. And this one, I may have shown this in the past. I don't know. I don't remember. It's so funny. It says, me when I have people come over to my place, you have to talk to him. Tell him that he's a good cat and a pretty cat. Data and Worf. Oh, man. From the next generation. If you guys haven't seen this one, I can't remember exactly what's going on in this episode. Something's wrong with Data, and he has to leave his room. So he's giving his cat Spot. I think that's what his name is.
Yep, that's
Worf.
Spot.
And Worf is not the most loving person. So just him.
He doesn't know how to handle it.
He doesn't know what.
And it's Spot was a very large part of Star Trek. I always loved him.
Oh my gosh!
To see the
and he just came back for
him and Data.
Picard season 3. We see Worf in episode 2.
Oh, don't tell me anything. I haven't gotten that far yet.
That's all I'm gonna say.
No spoilers.
That's all I'm going to say.
I just finished season 2, so that's coming soon.
I was going to say season 3 is awesome.
I knew he was coming back in it. So
yeah, as they had that in the preview.
We got everybody.
Yeah, they pretty much got everybody in this one. But it's a good one. It's really good. So far, I'm really liking this season of Picard. I think a little more than the last season, but I don't know. We'll see how it goes. We're only 2 episodes in, so we'll see. We will see. Anyway, that's our show for today, everybody. We did, I think, a good live stream. Again, let us know what you guys want to see. If you want to see more ChatGPT stuff, drop a link down below. Let us know in the comments or shoot us an email. Let us know if there's anything specific. We're also on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're on Twitter. We're on them all. So please find us, chat with us. Let us know what you want to see. I did release a new episode of Cookies Enabled today, the main episode, which is Goodwill Online versus eBay, and which is better, what can you find at these websites, and how do they all work and compare. I explain and break it all down in the video, and it's actually pretty interesting. Like I said, I got the PlayStation 2 right here in the background, and it does work. It came with all the cables, 2 controllers, memory cards and stuff, bunch of games and things, and it was a steal. So definitely take a look at my video, and if you guys didn't know, Goodwill's online. Otherwise, I want to say thank you to Andrew and to our viewers for tuning in. Again, let us know what you think, and we will see you guys all next time. Hopefully you guys all have a great week. I know I learned something new. I hope you guys did too. See you guys all next time.